This female customer was just upset that her noodles were cold, but she actually dumped the entire bowl on the server's head. Just one day earlier, Julie, the server, was focused on her work when a customer named Mark suddenly approached and forcibly kissed her. Confused and startled, Julie asked him what he was doing. Mark just laughed and said he liked her and wanted to take her out. It was all a prank he'd set up with his friends. The more Julie thought about it, the angrier she felt. Do rich people really think they can do whatever they want? The next moment, she slapped Mark across the face. Mark's friends burst out laughing. Humiliated, Mark called over the restaurant manager and complained that Julie had hit him. Without hesitation, the manager decided to fire her. Julie tried to explain, but it was no use. As she was about to leave, Mark suddenly choked on an ice cube from his water. Julie rolled her eyes, turned back, and skillfully performed first aid to dislodge the ice from his throat. Grateful that Julie had helped him, Mark offered to grant her one wish as a thank you. Julie replied that for a rich second-generation heir like him, one wish wasn't nearly enough, so Mark agreed to 3. For her first wish, Julie asked Mark to buy the entire restaurant. He happily agreed. Her second wish was for Mark to work for her for 1 month. He hesitated briefly, but eventually said yes. Julie said she'd save the third wish for later. Soon, Mark took over Julie's old position. She expected the spoiled rich kid to half-heartedly do the job, but to her surprise, he handled it with ease. Julie grew increasingly irritated and wanted to teach him a lesson. Then one day, while she was checking on how Mark was doing, a customer threw a bowl of cold noodles right over his head. Just because the noodles weren't hot enough, Julie watched expressionlessly. The manager rushed over and demanded that Mark apologize to the customer. Mark lowered his head and meekly said sorry. The customer stormed off in anger. Mark stood there, utterly defeated. Then suddenly, a woman pulled out her phone and started recording him. Embarrassed, Mark tried to block the camera, but Anna laughed into the lens and said, "And this is the guy my father actually wants me to marry?" Julie had seen enough. She walked right over to Mark.